There we go. Well, good evening, folks, or good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Quincy Kane here, and this is live stream number 119, and this is game night, so we're going to be doing a bracket segment, and we're doing a bracket. This is for all the guitar lovers out there. Who is the best lead guitarist? So just all the shredders out there, you know, who shreds, that's what we're going to be discussing. And truth be told, I'm sure all the people who will be nominated, like any of them could win. It's just a matter of seeing who wins tonight. But I'm sure we're going to get some fantastic nominations. Let's catch up with the chat here. Steven, I'm glad to see you tuning in. Appreciate you appreciate you coming to hang out, and I hope you're doing well. Steven just got a new guitar, said I bought it off I don't know if you meant my friend or my somebody in school. Guitar teacher in school? Yep. She asked if I knew anyone that would be interested in an electric guitar. Once I saw it, I gave it an LOL. I got it at the start of this week, so that's awesome. Hey, we got Logan in the chat, too. Logan, appreciate you tuning in. And Jack's tuning in. Anyone else who's just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. Jack, I hope you are doing well. Logan, I hope you've had a good week so far. And Steven just got a new guitar, which is very sweet. It's just like mine. It's a Schecter. It's actually a very similar color, Diamond Series, kind of like mine, but my model is a Hellraiser Solo 6. I'm not sure the exact model name of yours. It might be the same as, again, I've got a couple friends who both had Schecters that had a similar body shape to the guitar that you have, but I can't remember the exact model name, and theirs was a different color. One of my friends had, I think, just a good old black guitar, and then my other one had like a kind of a bluish one. It had like sort of this water kind of look to it, which I really liked. But yep. Oh, okay. So we got a little bit of some nominations here already. Yep. So Steven's saying Michael Gordon Thompson from Slipknot. He's a crazy lead guitarist. Well, we can certainly add him to the list. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. I'm going to kick things off with a piece of music, and then we'll get into our bracket. But here's kind of our bracket so far. I've already got a few names filled in, but we're going to have 16 total nominations. And right now I've just got half of them. I've got 8. And so, Steven, we can certainly add yours to the list in just a moment here. But anyone else who's just tuning in, I'm going to start things off with a piece of music. I thought since we were doing some guitar stuff, I thought it'd be fun to just play. I'm actually going to be doing just instrumentals tonight. I mean, I might end up singing. We'll see what happens. But I thought it'd be fun to do. Usually these brackets can take a while if we have a lot of people show up and everyone's voting, and we're going to be checking out footage of the people playing and stuff. So that can take a little bit of a bit of time. And so I thought the instrumentals are typically shorter, so I thought those would be good and give me a chance to kind of play. So if you have any nominations for Best Lead Guitarist, go ahead and leave a comment. We got one from Steven. If anyone else has got some, feel free to leave a comment. And I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with an instrumental. So give me just a moment here to get my backing track set up. And we'll be off in just a moment. Okay. All right, here we go. Hope you like this one. right, not too shabby. I'll be honest, it is cold in this building, and to prove it, I've literally got gloves here because I was trying to get my fingers warm. So before I started streaming, I was actually working on some merchandise stuff. Some of you guys might know I've sort of mentioned it. Technically, I've got a website set up, but it's not quite ready to go yet. I'm getting a few merch items on there, and then I still got to test them out. I got to check out the ordering process and just make sure all that works before I officially publish it and set it off. So I'm really excited about it. But I've been working on that, and I was like, oh, I got to wrap this up, and the stream's about to start and stuff. And so I had gloves to kind of help keep warm, but man, my fingers are a little cold. So hopefully I'll be able to play the rest of them okay. But anyone who's just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello, and we're going to be doing a bracket. It's game night, so we're going to be voting who are the best lead guitarists. So feel free to leave your nominations in the chat. We're gonna dive into it in just a moment here. I'll share some of my nominations. Catching up with the chat. Let's see here. Yep. Jack says, I just need to jump in the shower. We'll be back momentarily. So Jack's getting cleaned off, and this is your friendly reminder to stay, what's the word I'm looking for? Hygienated? Maybe that's it. I don't know. Stay hydrated, stay clean. So thank you for the announcement. But he'll be back momentarily. So let's have a look at who we've got on the list. We had one nomination from Steven, and I'll share with you guys who I've got on the list so far. So here we go. Here's the nomination list we have so far. And as you can see, I've only got half of it filled up. We've got room for 16 nominations. I've got half of them filled up, so that means we've got room for 8 more. Hygienic? Maybe that's the word? Yep, Steven's trying to help me out. All right, so here are some that I have nominated, and we'll check these out in a little bit. And we're also going to look up videos. So as you can see, I've got, let me click on this video here, and I will search videos as well. So I've got a few already grabbed. Music composition just got a whole lot more that I was that I had thought up, some of the ones that I nominated, and was going to show some videos of them playing, and then we'll check out some videos of some other guitarists. So if you nominate a guitarist, then we'll check out some live footage of them playing and see how they are. And then if you're not familiar with any of these guitarists, this is kind of a chance for you to see them playing. You'll get a chance to see what they look like, what they sound like, what their style's like, and all that stuff. And typically, we are looking kind of mostly in the rock and metal genre. I mean, really any lead guitarist is fair game, but just to know, what realm we're getting into here, we're kind of looking at rock and lead guitar. Lead guitar, but rock and metal guitarists. So a few nominations I have. So one, my favorite guitarist is easily Josh Middleton. Josh Middleton of the band Sylosis. Just a super tight player, just very precise. The guy shreds, plays super clean. I never hear the dude mess up. I'm sure he does, but I never see it in the live footage of him playing. They're just a tight band in general, and he's an incredible player. And I love the melody in his solos. Another guitarist that I could describe in a similar way, probably my second favorite guitarist, is Ollie Herbert from the band All That Remains. Now, unfortunately, Ollie passed away a few years ago, which I don't know, is devastating, but he was such a fantastic guitarist. Again, I just love the melody that he includes in his solos, and just such a proficient player. Just really good technicality, really good playing, and just a great guitarist. Next, we got another favorite guitarist of mine is Paul Waggoner from the band Between the Buried and Me. Now, he's kind of an interesting one because he's definitely a good player, because just in general, Between the Buried and Me material is very, they're the kind of band that, they just use the whole guitar. They're not just playing on one end of the guitar. They are using everything. So he's a very technical player, very, very good timing. But if we're talking just lead playing, I know he can shred, but I will be honest, I don't know if he's quite on the same level as some of these some of these others. We'll observe some video of him playing and kind of get an idea. But he is a very good guitar player and worth mentioning. Then we got Marty Friedman from Megadeth. He's also done some solo stuff. Marty Friedman is kind of known, like he's one of those names that come up when you talk about like some of the best shredders ever. So I have a feeling, depending who shows up for this stream, I have a feeling Marty Friedman's going to make it pretty far. And then after that, we got Eddie Van Halen. Now, Eddie Van Halen, I will say, great guitarist, super fantastic, great style, and good sound. But he is kind of I guess a little bit of an unorthodox guitarist. I feel like he's a lot of style. Like, I wouldn't say he's the most technical guitarist on this list. That's not to say that he isn't good. He's a fantastic guitarist. But I do think he's very just creative with the kind of sounds and textures that he creates. And so, and obviously very iconic guitarist. So I think he's worth a mention. We got Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert is another one kind of like Marty Friedman that I think he just, I don't know, the dude just is one of those, like, the one thing he's like really good at is guitar. It's like there's some people like even myself, like I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. Like I can play guitar, but that's not like the only thing I've focused on. Like I have so many interests, and so my attention has been diverse because of that. But Paul Gilbert, I think like Marty Friedman, is one of those guys that he just focused on guitar, and you can tell like he just is an incredible guitarist, really good. Eric Johnson, I just really like his style. I really like his music. To be honest, I haven't delved super deep into Eric Johnson's stuff, so I don't know if he's like the best of the best, but I know he's a very good guitarist. I think he's worth mentioning, and I like him, so I thought he'd be a fun one to pull out. And then the last one I nominated was Guthrie Govan. And again, I'm not like hugely familiar with Guthrie's stuff, but the little bit I've seen, I know him to be a good guitarist. He's sort of a name that I've seen pop up a lot, and I like a few of his songs, so I thought he'd be a cool one to pull out too. So we're going to add Michael Gordon Thompson. Let me get that up here real quick. And I'm actually going to try, let me see if I can find like a video real quick. I'll add it to the list here. Because we're going to look up some live videos of them playing. So hopefully he's got some kind of guitar playthrough or guitar solo video. That's ideally what we want to be checking out. So let me make sure I'm spelling that right, because it looks like it was Michael with a K. Like, might even be like Mikkel or something. I don't know. Michael, did I spell that right? I don't know if I did. A-E. Yeah. Michael Gordon Thompson. Now, I don't know if I've definitely heard some stuff from, oh, one second. There we go. Sorry. I've definitely heard some stuff from Slipknot before, but usually I'm not going to say I'm like super familiar with their am I spelling his name right? It might correct me. Now, it might just be, there it's just saying Mick. Maybe we'll go Mick Thompson. See if that brings up some results. Mick Thompson, guitar, solo. There we go. I know Slipknot to be very, kind of just riffs and groove, just very like aggressive energy. I'm not super familiar with them being, ones to do a lot of solos or anything like that, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised, and we'll see what kind of playing we get from him. Mick Thompson. For anyone who's just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. We're gonna be starting the bracket soon. He's known as Mick Thompson, okay, or however you spell his last name. Yeah. Yep, no worries. We'll go with Mick Thompson for now, and I think it's without the P. So cool. And then hey, we got Silas tuning in. Hey, Silas, hope you're doing well. I know you asked a question earlier about what am I doing tomorrow, like 5:30 or whatever. Usually I'm giving music lessons around that time, so I don't know if you were hoping to, I don't know if you're doing a live stream or something like that, or what your question was. But Silas, we're going to be starting this bracket soon, so I don't know if you have any favorite lead guitarists. I'll show you who we've got so far. We've got Josh Middleton from the band Sylosis. We've got Ollie Herbert from All That Remains. Paul Waggoner from Between the Buried and Me. We've got Marty Friedman, known for his solo stuff and for Megadeth. We've got Eddie Van Halen. We've got Paul Gilbert. We've got Eric Johnson. We've got Guthrie Govan. And we've got Mick Thompson from Slipknot. And then we had another one, Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. So we'll add him to the list as well. Now, I'm really hoping, I will say this, I'm hoping Daniel shows up because I know he loves, I know he's got a lot of lead guitarists that he really likes, Carpenter. So I'd love him to have a chance at making a few nominations and doing his votes and stuff. So Carpenter, okay, hopefully I got that right. So I think we might wait and see if we can get a few more people showing up. So I'm going to go ahead and play another piece of music for you guys. And hopefully my hand is a little more warmed up. That's why I'm wearing the glove, you know. So, not doing Michael Jackson stuff, you know. Not gonna, you know. But I have been thinking of working on some moonwalks lately, though. But and that's not a joke. If I show you my Watch Later playlist, I've literally got moonwalk tutorials on there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play another piece of music for you guys, and then we will go into it. We have not said James Hetfield yet. I think that's I did have Kirk Hammett. Would you pick James Hetfield over Kirk Hammett? Because I know Kirk to be the one who does all the solos. So you know, you're certainly welcome to make that call. But I think if we're talking Metallica, I think Kirk would be the way to go. But that's just my 2 cents. So yeah, I think James has maybe done like some solos, but yeah, usually Kirk is the one who typically plays solos. All right, I'm going to go ahead and speaking of solos, I'm going to play a piece of music for you guys real quick. This is just another instrumental. Hope you like it. Here we go. Thank you. So this hand's feeling a little warmer, but my picking hand is feeling cold. I've been wearing the glove on one hand. I can try to wear both gloves, but usually I gotta handle the mouse and the mic and all that. I'm gonna have to find out how to turn on the temperature in this place because yeah, it's chilly. Now, thankfully, you know, spring is coming and summer's coming, and so things should be getting a little warmer, and so hopefully I won't have to worry about that. But for whatever reason today, maybe because it's warmer, maybe they've been cooling the building down or something like that. But yeah, it is quite chilly. Cool. Yeah, so I think we're probably going to add Kirk Hammett to the list. For anyone who's just tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello. We're doing a bracket. We haven't started it yet. We're still taking nominations, but here is the window, and here are the nominations that we currently have. But we're doing a bracket for the best lead guitarist. So, and I think we've got Jack back. Hey, Jack, appreciate you tuning back in. Thank you for the applause. Let's see here. Yep, saying hello again. And let's see. Silas says, this is my first time talking in the chat, by the way. Well, hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Love to get to know you more. I feel like I know I've seen you comment on a few videos, and I know I've seen your username, so I don't know if it's just you've commented on some videos, or if, because you're saying this is your first time commenting on the chat, so maybe you haven't talked much before. I'm not really sure, but let me know. Do you play guitar? Do you play another instrument? Do you sing or anything like that? Who are some of your favorite bands and artists? Let me know a little bit about yourself. We're gonna add your nomination. You said you were cool with Kirk Hammett, so I think we're gonna go ahead and add Kirk Hammett from Metallica. And I think that's with 2 T's. I think that's how you spell his name. 2 M's and 2 T's, something like that. Yeah, I think he's a good nomination. He was actually, I've got kind of like, in case we didn't have enough people to cast nominations, I had a few like backup people to mention in mind, and he was one of them, so. But yeah, anyone else who's just tuning in? Again, like I said, I'm really hoping Daniel. Some of y'all know Daniel. He's a great guitarist, and I know he loves he loves bands like Megadeth and Metallica and Judas Priest, and he's done a few guitar cover videos, like some playthrough videos, and he's a very good guitarist himself. So I'm hoping that he'll tune in. We might have to just kind of hang out a little bit and give him something of a chance to show up. And I'm sure I could kind of take a guess. Like, I feel like he probably would have mentioned Marty Friedman. He might have mentioned Kirk Hammett. That'd probably be another one. But I feel like there's probably a few that he might mention that I don't know of. I can't say I know like all his favorite guitarists for sure. So we shall see if he ends up turning up. Silas says, I do play guitar and am working on singing. Well, that's great. Yeah, I can say for anyone who's trying to learn how to sing, definitely look into taking lessons. For me, so I come from a pretty big family. I've got 3 brothers, 3 sisters, and a lot of my siblings were born with like naturally good singing voices. I actually wasn't born with like the greatest natural singing voice. I could sing okay, but it was just very difficult. I wasn't very consistent with my voice. Didn't have much like control or stability with my voice, and I was scared of taking lessons. I don't know, just because I didn't know anyone who took lessons, and I was scared that lessons would teach me to sing like very operatic, like I didn't want to sing like that, but these days you can learn to sing in pretty much any style of music that you like. So again, for rock and metal, there are vocal teachers who specialize in teaching you how to sing that style of music. And there's a few, I can mention a few. Some of my favorite vocal coaches, I'm going to type him in the chat here. Ken Tamplin. Hopefully I'm spelling that right. So one is Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. There we go. He's got some great videos on YouTube, and his have been very helpful. And if you're wanting to learn more like metal singing, rock and metal, another really good one is Voice Hacks. That's the name of the channel. Let me type that in the chat. Voice Hacks. That's another great YouTube channel for vocal lessons, specifically for rock and metal and that kind of singing. I'm actually drawing a blank on the vocal teacher's name. I want to say it's like Vanessa or Melissa or something like that. It's been a while since I've watched her videos, but I actually had a private lesson with her. Some of these vocal teachers, some of them, they sell courses. Some of them you can pay for a video chat with them and have a private lesson with them. And I actually had a lesson with her, and I remember she taught me a few things. Like, she was very like, what do you want to work on? What do you need help with? I sent her a few reference videos and kind of told her where I felt like I was having issues. And so she was very prepared for the lesson to help me with my weaknesses. And I remember when we first did the lesson, like, it went well, but it didn't change me right away. It wasn't like she taught me something and it's like, wow, I can sing. It was just, she showed me a few exercises. And that's the key word, is they're exercises, which means you have to do them. You have to practice them. And that's the thing about singing, is singing is very athletic. It's something that you have to do regularly. You have to practice regularly. You have to do these exercises and work on these techniques and drill them in. And the more comfortable you get with them, the more you familiar and the more conditioned your voice gets to it, the better you get, the more efficient you get, and the more your tone improves and your breath support improves, and a lot of these things that just really help. And so, so those, so after I put it into practice, I noticed like some really big improvements on my overall singing. And so, that was really great. Silas said, I actually did talk to you a little, in this one short you made about singing. So I think if you're commenting on the one I made about over-pronunciating, I did do a little tip about singing. That might be the one you're talking about. Some singers, it's really easy to kind of keep your mouth closed, and I'll brace myself, kind of like that. But if you over-enunciate, like you really open up your mouth and over-pronounce the words, and I'll brace myself, it just adds a lot more brightness and clarity to what you're singing, and especially when you're singing higher notes. Like, it really helps with hitting those higher notes. So there's a lot of little tips like that you kind of learn. You have to make a habit of implementing them, make a habit of using them. And as you add these things together, like, it's the thing I've noticed about singing, it's not really like one big trick that just all of a sudden turns you into a great singer. It's a bunch of little tricks that you learn how to use, and you learn how to use them instinctively, like where you don't have to think about it. You make a habit out of them, and they help. So I think that's awesome that you're working on singing, and definitely do that. Definitely put it up. Hey, we got Stan in the chat. Hey, Stan, hope you're doing well. We haven't started the bracket yet. We're just taking nominations, but I'll get you up to speed with who we've got in the nominations so far. So we've got my favorite guitarist from the band Sylosis, Josh Middleton. We've got Ollie Herbert, another favorite of mine from All That Remains. We've got Paul Waggoner from Between the Buried and Me. We've got Marty Friedman, known for his solo stuff and for Megadeth. We've got Eddie Van Halen. I'm pretty sure he's a favorite of yours. We've got Paul Gilbert. We've got Eric Johnson. We've got Guthrie Govan. So those were the ones that I had already in mind. And a few nominations that we had added. We had Steven in the chat, and he nominated Mick Thompson from Slipknot. And then he also nominated Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. And then Silas in the chat originally mentioned James Hetfield, but we kind of tweaked that. We changed it to Kirk Hammett, since this is more so focusing on lead guitarists and, the shredders, the guys who play the solos. And so we've got Kirk Hammett from Metallica. So we might have some of your favorites in there already. I don't know if there's any other guitarists that you would want to nominate, Stan, but if there is, feel free to type your nomination, and we'll add it to the list. Anyone else who's just tuning in, again, we're doing a best lead guitarist bracket, and we have plenty of room for more nominations. So whoever your favorite lead guitarist is, just the guys who shred, the guys who are really good, let me know. Trying to use up a little bit of time. Oh, hey, we got Clay in the chat, and Clay says Gary Moore. I don't know if I'm familiar with Gary Moore. Is he from a certain band, or is maybe he's not a member of the community, is he? The music community we've got here, but we will add him to the list. So Clay, good to have you. We're going to add Gary Moore to the list. A few others that we've got, in case you can't see him here, we've got Josh Middleton from Sylosis, Ollie Herbert from All That Remains, Paul Waggoner from Between the Buried and Me. We've got Marty Friedman, known for his solo stuff and Megadeth. We've got Eddie Van Halen. We've got Paul Gilbert. We've got Eric Johnson, Guthrie Govan. We've got Mick Thompson from Slipknot. We've got Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. We've got Kirk Hammett from Metallica. And then we just added Clay's nomination, Gary Moore. And the name sounds kind of familiar. I don't know if I've just seen it before. So I don't know if he's just a solo guitarist or if he's from a particular band. He's a solo artist. Okay, cool. Good to know. Well, we are gonna check out some live footage of these guitarists playing. So we're not just picking names, So even if anyone on this list, if you're not familiar with them, we're gonna check out some footage and check out their chops. He's not really a metal artist though. That's not too much of a concern. If he's just a good lead guitarist, that's quite all right. We're kind of looking in rock and metal, so anything in that ballpark should be fine. I'm up for anything. Even I know if we wanted to add from country, like someone like I think Brad Paisley is a pretty good guitarist, or Keith Urban. I wouldn't nominate them for this particular bracket, but if someone wanted to nominate them, I'm not opposed to that being the case. But yeah, primarily just lead guitarist. Since we've got a few people in the chat, let me go ahead and play another piece of music for you. I thought it'd be kind of fun since we're looking at lead guitarists today. I thought I would focus on some instrumentals today and do a little bit of lead guitar play myself. So we're gonna try that out. I'm wearing this glove, by the way, because it's kind of cold in here. So I knew I was gonna be playing some guitar solos and stuff. So I'm trying to keep my hands as warm as I can. But I'll go ahead and play a piece of music for you. Anyone who's just tuning in, if you'd like to make a nomination for who we should include in this bracket of best lead guitarists, please let me know. I'm really hoping Daniel shows up. I was really hoping he's kind of the one I had in mind when I was planning all of this. So I hope he shows up. I'd love him to be a part of this. All right, give me a second here. Okay, cool. All right, going to play another instrumental for you guys. Hope you like it. Thank you. All right, for anyone just tuning in, don't be shy, say hello. And it's game night. We're going to be doing a bracket here. And we are doing a bracket for best lead guitarists. So feel free to make some we still got room for a few more nominations. We got 1, 2, 3. We got room for 4 more nominations. Let me bring up the bracket so you guys can see it. There we go. Catching up with the chat here. Another potential nomination, insane guitar player Roy Clark. I can't say I'm super familiar with him either, so we might have to check him out. Give me a second here. Roy, I think it was Roy Clark, is that right? Yeah, just want to make sure I'm spelling that right. So we'll add him to the list. Roy Clark. Okay. All right, and let's see. Jack says, I'm a bit out of my element. Eddie Van Halen was about the only one I know of course, aside from you, Quincy. Yep. Let's see. Well, we got Eddie Van Halen on the list, and like I said, even if you're not familiar with any of these guitarists, like Clay's mentioning a few that I'm not super familiar with, and it's okay because we're going to watch some clips of them. We're going to watch some live footage of them playing and sort of assess their playing and then make the vote based off of that. So, yeah, so you still, even if you don't know any of these players, you still have a chance. And even if you don't quite understand, like, you know, the technicality that's going on with some of the playing, you can just say, well, I like his style best. I like the way his playing sounded best. Like, that's a legitimate, you know, that's a fair assessment, you know, to make. Stan says, I agree. I love James Hetfield, yet he is the steady timekeeper, not lead. I'm going to sit back and listen. Cool. Yep, and I agree. Yep, James Hetfield is known for having a really good right picking hand, just really good, really powerful down picking, just super consistent, super strong, bringing in those chugs, and rhythm playing is a really important thing. You know, I know a lot of the solos, a lot of the guitar soloists kind of get the spotlight a lot of times, but I would say rhythm playing is probably more important, and maybe in some extent, maybe even, I don't know if I'd say harder, but definitely more important. And like a really good like tight rhythm player is just, I don't know, super important. So, yeah. Silas says, sounds great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Conspiracy says, yes. Roy Clark is from Hee Haw. Again, I'm having to guess what that said. Yeah, Hee Haw. Crazy guitar player. Cool. Unsung hero. Yeah, sometimes the rhythm guitarist is the unsung hero. Yep, I think I would agree with that. So, very cool. Who's that kid from Polyphia? He's good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Give me a second here. I'll look him up. I know who you're talking about. He was one that kind of crossed my mind. Like, usually when I do these like brackets, I'll usually have a few pre-selected choices just in case, you know, like in case I don't have enough people to make nominations. Tim Henson, that's his name. Yeah, he'd probably be a good one to mention. We might bring him back in a moment here, but yes, he is a very good guitarist. He was one that crossed my mind. I just had a few others that kind of filled the places. But yes, I know him to be a very good one. There's quite a few. I'll mention a few that may or may not make the cut. Just a few guitarists I like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the artist Plini. He's an instrumental artist. And I actually don't know his real name, but Plini is his artist name. Maybe that's like his last name or something like that. I don't know. But he's a really good guitar player. And just has like very nice, like kind of chill, like prog rock sort of music. I don't know. He's a very good guitarist. There's Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders. He's a very good, very unique guitarist. He does a lot of like slap thumb stuff, in addition to, you know, just like picking and tapping and all that kind of stuff. Like, very unique guitarist. So he's a really good one. There's Shawn Lane. I can't remember who brought him to my attention. I think he has since passed away, but I think he was like just known as a really technical player. I think back in like the 90s, maybe early 90s, something like that. And I've seen a few clips of him, and he is very good. Yep, really good player. Stanley says, I just said I would listen to hear something new. I would at the moment vote for Eddie. Yep. Yeah, depending who he's up against. Right now on the bracket, we've actually got Eddie up against Gary Moore, and I'll need to, I'll need to hear Gary Moore to make an assessment. So, yeah, we'll be able to listen and determine. A few other guitarists. There's Yngwie. I think he was quite known. I think especially in the '80s of just being like a guitar shred person. So I can't say I've listened to too much of his stuff, but I do know him to be like a very good guitarist. There's Buckethead, and to be honest, the only thing I know of Buckethead is from Guitar Hero, the video game, and I just remember his song was very hard. And so Buckethead is definitely a very good guitarist. Don't know much about him, just know he's a very good guitarist. And then Jason Richardson, he's another one. I can't remember what band he plays for right now, but Jason Richardson is a very good guitarist. Silas asks, do you like Angus Young? I mean, I think he's a good guitarist. I don't know if, I think he's certainly up for, if he's one you're wanting to nominate, I think you're certainly welcome to. I don't know. I haven't looked at his lead playing, like, super, closely. Like, I've heard him play solos from certain AC/DC songs. But I think he's a good player, but I don't know him to be like amazing. Like I think he's I think he writes like really catchy, like rockin' solos that just work really well for the song. But I don't know him to be like all over the guitar and like, man, that dude just shreds. It's like but I like a few AC/DC songs. I'm not going to say I'm like a huge fan, but there's definitely a few songs of theirs that I like, especially like growing up playing the Tony Hawk video games. They had a few of their songs on the soundtrack, and so I definitely liked some of their songs, and again, from the Guitar Hero video games. Nita Strauss is a very good guitarist. Clay says, I seen one of her shorts a bit ago, LOL. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen like her shorts, but I've seen her play. I think she's primarily a solo artist and sometimes a featured artist in other bands and things like that. I don't think she plays in an actual band. I think she's mostly a solo artist, but I do know her to be a very good guitarist. I'm looking her up real quick to see if it says anything. It says she's played with Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden, so I guess she's played in a few bands. I don't think she originated with those bands. Maybe she for Alice Cooper it says since 2014. So, maybe that was like later she joined them, but to play live or something like that. But yeah, I know her to be a good one. Silas says, I was just wondering how you felt about his playing just by listening to it. Well, I can say this. So when it comes to like music is such an interesting thing because like there's another guitarist, and maybe someone will bring this person up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, oh my gosh, what's his name? Alan something. I'll try to look it up. It's a guitar player, Alan something. Alan Holdsworth, I think is his name. And it's just like very, very technical, very proggy, kind of abstract music. And so on a technical level, it's like very good playing. But from a melodic standpoint, it's not the most accessible stuff. It's not very catchy. Let me see. I think it's Alan. Pretty sure I think it's Holdsworth, but I can't remember. But yeah, he's one that I've seen come up, and I know him to be, again, just a really fantastic technical player, but he plays a lot of very abstract kind of notes in music, and so I don't know him to. There's kind of a choice there, just what you like to listen to, because even though he's a really good player, it might not be the most enjoyable melody to appreciate, and so again, someone like Angus Young might be the opposite of that, where maybe he's not the most technical player, but he just picks some really good sounding notes that just work for the song. And I can definitely say, even for myself, like, guitar's fun. I like playing, but I'm a sucker for melody. If my favorite guitarists are definitely have good ears for melody. They're just very. Not only do they shred and play fast, but they also hit notes that just sound very good and just emote and match with the tone of the music. And to me, that's arguably more important. Again, sort of another example of that. You could look at a band like Nirvana. Nirvana wasn't really known for doing guitar solos, but they had a few, and their guitar solos were super simple. If you look at what is it? What's the Teenage song? Oh my gosh. Why am I forgetting the name of that song? you know what song I'm talking about. But anyway, when he plays the solo for that song, it's literally just the same solo. It's the same melody as the vocals. You know, it's like hardly a guitar solo. It's just the guitar taking the place of the voice, basically. But it works for that song. It sounds good. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Like I love a good melody, but you know, definitely fun to appreciate some guitar. Yeah, Clay says I think she went solo now. So sometimes you know, musicians can do a lot. Like, you know, they might be playing part of a band, but have kind of their solo stuff that they do as well. So I don't know if she's doing that simultaneously or just doing one or the other. So, all right, I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play one more song for you guys, and then we might go ahead and get this bracket started. Again, I was trying to stall a little bit. I was hoping, really hoping. Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's it. Yep. Thank you. Knew it had something to do with teenagers. So. Trying to stall a little bit. I was really hoping Daniel would be here for this one. Maybe he'll show up later, but you know, I don't want to keep you guys waiting for the voting and stuff. So I'm going to play one more piece of music for you, and then we'll get to voting. We'll finish with we'll add a few more nominations, and then we'll start voting and getting the bracket started. So, all right, here we go. Here's another instrumental. Hope you like it. Thank you. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and get this bracket started. So anyone just tuning in, don't be shy, say hello. We're doing a bracket for Best Lead Guitarist. We've got a few nominations. We got room for a few more, so if anyone's just tuning in, there's still time for you to make a nomination. Hey, we got Chad in the chat. Says, hey, late. Hey, no worries. Better late than never, said the White Rabbit. That's right. Yep. And then some hellos happening. Yep, Chad, appreciate you tuning in. Yep, thank you. Yeah, I was thought it'd be fun to do like a few instrumentals for this stream because we're looking at some best lead guitarists. Chad, I don't know if you have a favorite lead guitarist or someone that you just think does good guitar solos or shreds, but we still have room for a few nominations. I'll name the ones that we've got in a moment here. Silas says 17, by the way. Well, then that means you've got a lot of time to master guitar and singing. So keep working on that. This is awesome. Let's see. And Clay's saying to get off my lawn. Yep. So Chad probably got some. Yeah, we don't have Jimi Hendrix yet, so we could add Jimi Hendrix to the list. I'll go ahead and add him now. Jimi Hendrix. Here's who we've got so far. So we've got probably my favorite guitarist, Josh Middleton from the band Sylosis. And then another favorite of mine, Ollie Herbert from All That Remains. We've got Paul Waggoner from Between the Buried and Me. We've got Marty Friedman, known for his solo stuff and for Megadeth. We've got Eddie Van Halen. We've got Paul Gilbert. We've got Eric Johnson, Guthrie Govan. We've got Mick Thompson from Slipknot. I think that was Steven's nomination, and then he also nominated Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. And then we've got Kirk Hammett from, I think this was Silas's nomination, Kirk Hammett from Metallica. And then Clay mentioned Gary Moore and Roy Clark. And then from Chad, we've got Jimi Hendrix. And then we've got room for 2 more nominations. I'm hoping, again, I was hoping Daniel would tune in, but I do think we are going to get this bracket started soon because I don't want to keep you guys waiting much longer. So let's see here. Wait, did you mean Jimi Hendrix or Harrison? Jimi Harrison? I don't know if I'm... I want to make sure I'm getting the right name. I'm assuming when you said Jimmy, you meant Jimi Hendrix, but I don't know if there's a Jimi Harrison or if there's a Harrison that I'm not familiar with. Or do we already have a Harrison in there that... No, I don't see one. Yeah. Let's see here. Gary Clark Jr. I thought I'd seen something about Friedman playing with Megadeth again. Interesting. And yes, Chad did mean Hendrix. And then Roy Clark, yes. George Harrison. Okay. Sure, let's add George Harrison to the list. And by the way, we're going to check out some live footage of all these players. So if there's any players that you're not super familiar with, no worries. We're gonna have a look at their playing, and then you can kind of make your assessment based off of that. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go like super in depth with each and every one of them, but we'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, Silas picked Kirk. That's correct. Lita Ford. Haven't put Lita Ford. We got room for one more. So which? Yeah, who would y'all like to be the last nomination? We got room for one more. It could be. I know we had Nita Strauss mentioned. Buckethead was mentioned. There were a few other names that were kind of brought up. There's what's his face, Tom Henson from Polyphia. So whatever you guys feel like, we've got room for one more nomination, and then we will start the bracket. A few others that I might mention. There's Plini, who is a solo rock artist. There's Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders. Shawn Lane, Yngwie, Buckethead, we've already got Kirk Hammett, and then Jason Richardson was another one. Chad says Buckethead, so if no one is opposed to that, we might go ahead and go with Buckethead. So cool. All right, we're gonna get this bracket started. All right, there's our nominations, and I think we're good to go. Okay, let me make this a little smaller. There we go. So, all right, hopefully you all can see that all right. It'd be great if, can I make that small? Well, there's the names there. Okay, cool. Let me make sure you guys, all right, yeah, you should be able to see that. Okay. It'd be nice if I could like scoot that over somehow. I can maybe do that. Yeah, that kind of works pretty good. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so many. Yeah, we got a lot on here. Buckethead is the most underrated guitarist out there, in my opinion. I can say I've heard of him. Again, I know him mostly from like his song on Guitar Hero, and I've seen a few videos. I know he wears like the mask, and he literally wears a bucket on his head. I know him to be a very good guitarist. I will say, like for myself, I usually I don't listen to a whole lot of instrumental music. So there's a lot of these really good shred guitarists. Usually all they do is instrumental music, and I can listen to a little bit of it, but I just really like singers. So it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I like singing better. I like songs, and I like singing along. So I know there's a lot of great guitar players out there, like Buckethead, like Marty Friedman or whoever it might be, which I'm referring to Marty Friedman's solo stuff. I know Megadeth has vocals, but a lot of great guitarists out there. Animals as Leaders is another band that's like super good, but again, I don't listen to a whole lot of instrumental stuff. But that's just me. So, all right, let's have a look here. So, oh man, right off the get-go, I'm a little concerned here. And we'll see. I'll try to judge fairly, but right off the get-go, the first bracket we have is Josh Middleton versus BucketHead. Now, Josh Middleton is one of my favorite guitarists. Like, the dude is just, I love the melodies he comes up with. He's a super tight player, like very clean. Like, I'm sure he does mess up, but he's just one of those guys, like, you never see him mess up. And he just always sounds good, really good. So, yeah, so we'll compare. I've actually already got some BucketHead here and some Josh Middleton. So we'll listen to a little bit of Josh Middleton first. I'll let you guys hear him, and then we'll listen to some BucketHead. And actually, let me make sure. Wait, slide that back over. There we go. Okay, so this is Josh Middleton from the band Sylosis. Here's a little clip of him playing some guitar. Yeah, he's probably my favorite guitarist. So, oh, whoops, you guys could probably hear that. I can't. Let me. There we go. All right. He's a very good rhythm player. We were talking about this earlier, kind of like I don't know, just super clean. And, like, I love the notes he's picking. You know, like, he's not just playing fast. It's, like, very tasteful. Very melodic. So, yeah, he's a good one. I'll see if he does any more shredding. I'll kind of skip ahead. Here he is just jamming.
I'm really excited when outside.
So he just doesn't talk there. So. Okay, so I think that was a good little showcase of what he's all about. Again, great guitarist. So he's going up against BucketHead. So here's a BucketHead solo. We'll check this out in just a moment here.
Got your coffee. Oh my God, what? You literally read my mind.
And you guys can hear it out there, right? Give me like a thumbs up or something, or just let me know, yes, if you can hear it out there.
It's happening, isn't it?
Because, yeah, definitely want you guys to be able to hear this. Why not? Yeah, BucketHead, I know he makes, like, some sound effects. Okay, yes, y'all can hear it. Yeah, he's not going the speed limit. Now this is just a straight up solo, as in no backing track right now. And I think he's using a pedal there to kind of get some weird sounds along with the tapping. Now, if anyone knows a BucketHead song, we can definitely check out a BucketHead song as well. So here's my initial thought. So that's about the end of that video. So yeah, dude definitely shreds. But again, I was sort of talking about this earlier where I think Alan Holdsworth was another guitarist I was mentioning who just plays like very like progressive abstract technical music, and there's no doubt that he's definitely a really good guitarist, but a lot of the notes they hit are sometimes almost more I'm trying to think, like very atmospheric, it's very much very abstract notes. It's not like super catchy or melodic or anything like that. And so I can say, I mean, both of them are already very good technical players. But I will say, just based off those examples, I would probably lean more towards Josh, just because I like the notes he was picking. I like the melodic, like the melody of what he was playing. He wasn't just playing fast. He was, it was very musical sounding, like what he was playing. But soothsayer is what some people are saying. So let me look up soothsayer real quick. And here's a live version. Because I want to give BucketHead a chance to play something in a more musical context. But,
Do you think the pizza guy's okay?
come on.
He's fine.
This is not sponsored by HelloFresh, but I think I'd be down for a HelloFresh sponsor. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully we don't get some internet lag here. All right, we're not going to watch this whole thing, but I might try to skip ahead to just catch a few little snippets. See this little bit here. Nice guitar tone. All right, so I know these brackets can go on kind of lengthy, so for time's sake, I'm just gonna, get to it and try not to linger too long on the videos. But yeah, again, probably any of these guitarists could win. That's a tough one. I'd be curious what Josh would think, because I almost feel like he would maybe admit, because BucketHead definitely has got some speed on him, that's for sure. And even his tapping is like super, super advanced. Like he was using a lot of like multiple fingers, not just one finger for the tapping stuff. But I think style-wise and like tone-wise, like just the all-around package, and plus I have a feeling I'm going to get outvoted anyways, but I could be wrong, but I think I'm going to go for Josh Middleton. Chad voted for BucketHead, so but yeah, so between those two, what would you guys say? Yeah, Chad's voting BucketHead, but yeah, please make your vote. So right now it's tie for BucketHead and for Josh Middleton, but I'll give you guys like one more little snippet. So here's like a little snippet of BucketHead. And then here is a little snippet of, actually I'll show off one more.
When you buy music gear from Sweetwater.
Here's a little snippet of Josh.
You know all
After
the
this
ingredients that go into your favorite recipe.
1, 0. There we go. Okay. By the way, if anyone's... I'm wearing this glove because I'm trying to keep my hands warm for when I play. It's cold in this building for some reason. Like, that is some fast ult picking right there. I mean, BucketHead is playing pretty fast, too. Yeah, I will say BucketHead was really like all over his instrument, but again, I really like Josh's taste and style. So right now we've got a tie between those two. We've got Clay going for BucketHead. So anyone else who hasn't voted between those two, yeah, we've got that's between Josh Middleton and BucketHead. So please leave your vote in the chat. So as of right now, BucketHead is in the lead for that, but there's still room for more votes, so we'll see what else we got. All right, we got Mick Thompson and Guthrie Govan. So I think Mick Thompson was for Slipknot, and I'll be honest, I don't know Slipknot to I don't know Slipknot to be like a very guitar band, like shreddy band. I think of them more as like groove and, you know, like aggressive riffs and that kind of thing. So, but maybe I'll be surprised. So let's give him a listen. Here's I just picked a random one, guitar solo. And if anyone has a suggestion for like what a good solo would be to look up, let me know. Because right now what I'm hearing is kind of what I expected. Like, it's not bad, but it's more like atmospheric. It's not like super shreddy. It's kind of like, you know, a lot of dissonance and atmosphere, which is very appropriate for the style, you know. Like, I'm not, you know, it's definitely, you know, not dissing it or anything like that. But so if anyone has like a better suggestion, you know, let me know. Let's check out Guthrie Govan. Guthrie's kind of one of those guys, like, he's known for his guitar stuff, so I kind of have a feeling like this is going to go to Guthrie, but we shall see. Most new metal aren't into solos like grunge. Yeah, and that was partially intentional. It was kind of you know, when new metal was coming around, it was kind of counterculture to what was at the you know, metal at the time, which was very you know, very shred heavy guitar solos, that kind of thing. It was very counter to that, and which, you know, nothing wrong with that. You know, style wise, it's great. So if we're trying to highlight guitarists here, again, I don't know that Mick Thompson is maybe the best nominee for this particular competition, but that's not taking away from what he's contributing to the band. Like, his solo sounded totally appropriate for that song. Here's Guthrie Govan. Don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but and this is more, he's kind of more like prog rock. I really like this little riff here. I think I learned it once. I need to learn it again. So this isn't even the solo. This is just a riff. And then he'll do these little solo breaks. Here it comes. Right here. Sheesh. Man, like, super smooth player. That's kind of how this song goes. It'll sort of do those little riffs, and then he'll do these solo breaks. This little section here might be, you know, I always think it's going to be like chill and tasteful, and then he just like throws in a flurry of notes. really cool style, kind of bluesy and chromatic, maybe a little jazzy stuff kind of in there. Yeah, I kind of want to keep listening to that. All right, so that's kind of a taste there. No, we haven't voted Eddie yet, Stan. So, yep. Silas says, oh, hey, have any of you seen the show Stranger Things? There's a character in there named Eddie Munson who plays guitar. I hadn't watched the show, but I'm familiar with it. I know it's a pretty popular show. Stan, we haven't checked out Eddie yet. I'll give you a little snippet. All right, so right now we're doing Guthrie versus Mick Thompson. So here is Guthrie. Just going to let you hear a few seconds. You get the idea. He shreds. And then this is Mick Thompson solo. All right. So, voting Mick Thompson versus Guthrie Govan. What do you guys think? For me, I got to go Guthrie. I think he's maybe the more proficient player. So let me know your votes between those two, Mick Thompson and Guthrie Govan. We also have Josh Middleton versus BucketHead. Stan, I'll let you have a listen to that real quick. Here is BucketHead. And again, I'm just gonna listen quickly.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
Ooh, okay.
And,
I like these.
Okay.
Nice and comfortable. They're breathable.
I want some lower scores out of
So
these.
here's some BucketHead. Just gonna listen to a quick snippet of this. Yeah, he shreds. And then here is Josh Middleton. And I'll kind of skip ahead to where he really starts soloing. So right now, as far as voting goes, yeah, Chad says Stranger Things is awesome. Yep. Chad says, as much as I love Slipknot, I have to go Guthrie. And, you know, truth be told, yeah, here's Josh Middleton playing. Man, all these guys are really good. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about music too. You know, it's not just like how fast you play, and yeah, style-wise, you know, Slipknot might be the more cup of tea for people who want heavier music and stuff. But if we're talking lead guitarist, I think it's got to go Guthrie. And so we're kind of taking all that into account. You know, style is a factor, but and you know that how tasteful, like the kind of notes they're choosing. But we are, you know, wanting to look at kind of the technical proficiency as well. Stan says Guth as well. And so anyone else who wants to vote? Yep, we had Guthrie Govan versus Mick Thompson. Right now it's 3 for Guthrie, so cast your vote. And then we've got a few votes already for Josh Middleton and BucketHead. I voted for Josh Middleton, but Clay and Chad voted for BucketHead. If you have not voted for those yet, you can still submit and possibly change the outcome or confirm the outcome. Oh, and just to clarify, someone had suggested this last time. It might have been Clay. it was either Clay or Chad, I think. Might have been Daniel, actually. But we did a bracket last time. And in the case of a tie, I've got a pick here. One side has my logo on it. The other side is just blank. And the logo side is heads. And we'll just flip a coin in the case of a tie. So, all right, let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, Chad says Slipknot is the top 5 favorite band. Which, speaking of favorite bands and new metal and all that, shout out, guys. Chad has got a stream coming up this Saturday, a new metal guitar stream. So if you want to show some love and appreciation for arguably the greatest metal genre, new metal, then definitely tune in to Chad's stream for that. That's going to be this Saturday. I think it's from 4 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely tune into that. So let's see here. Clay says, same. Guthrie is definitely more of a lead player, instrumentalist. I love Slipknot, but Guthrie for sure. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I typically listen to heavier styles of music than what Guthrie's playing. I don't even listen to Guthrie all that much. But I can't argue that the dude is a really good guitarist. And let me see. Am I missing any other votes real quick? Yep. Stan and Silas, you guys can still vote, I think. Yeah, you guys can still vote. I think we're missing some votes from you. Stanley says, Buckethead was to me, again, that heart is in the way. I can't. Oh, he retracted it, so maybe he spelled something wrong. But Stan, if you want to make your vote between Buckethead and Josh Middleton, feel free to do so. And between Guthrie and Mick Thompson. And then while you're casting your vote, we'll look at the next bracket, which is Eddie Van Halen versus Gary Moore. Now, I'll be curious to look up Gary Moore because I'm not sure that I've heard him play. So that's kind of the fun thing about this segment is that you guys bring up a lot of like new artists that I'm not familiar with. So this is kind of a nice way to discover some new music. Let's see. All right, here we've got a Eddie Van Halen solo compilation. So we'll have a listen to some of that. Hey, we've got Lady C. I'm just observing, but hi. Well, appreciate you tuning in. Lady C, we're doing a bracket for Best Lead Guitarist, and you are certainly welcome to vote if you'd like to. We've already got the nominations, and we're going to be listening to their playing, so you can just choose which one you like better. Right now, we're listening to Eddie Van Halen, and this is going to be Eddie Van Halen versus Gary Moore. All right, Stan voted for Josh Middleton, so that ties it up. So if anyone hasn't voted, you can still vote for Josh or Buckethead to break the tie there. Lady C says, I know nothing about playing the guitar after all. Well, like I said, but you got ears, so you're certainly welcome to listen and vote. I would vote for Buckethead then. So that might be another vote for Buckethead. All right. And let's see. Silas says, I think I'll go with the same you voted, Quincy. Okay. No need to know anything. Just what you like. Yep. Chad's right. Exactly. Yep. So here's Eddie. And the dude's a legend. Yeah. Pretty good. All right, let's check out Gary Moore. So Eddie Van Halen versus Gary Moore. Any suggestions for a Gary Moore solo that we should check out? I don't know if there's anything you're seeing here. This says best guitar solo ever, probably. So that might be a good one to watch. Well, I'm just going to click this, but yeah, if anyone has a suggestion. Chad says, don't see anybody beating Eddie. Yep. Lady C says, I don't know who the other guy is. Well, that's a shame, because Josh Middleton is my favorite guitarist. So if you're talking about Buckethead versus Josh Middleton. Oh, hey, my mom's cousin can play Eruption. Yep. The Loner. All right, let's check that out. Is that a... The Loner? All right, we'll check this one out.
Imagine hosting a charity 5K without high-quality custom t-shirts, or a family reunion, or a company event. What the
Okay. So this is Gary Moore, the Loner. Hey, I did say I didn't know anything. Well, you're welcome to listen, is what I mean. All right, I'm going to skip ahead, just kind of get to where we can hear some of this playing. So kind of some melodic stuff. I don't know if there's a certain place. I might have missed a little something there. All right. Let's see, not your other folks, other people have me giving an education in Buckethead and not Josh Middleton. No worries. I'll let you hear him real quick. Let's see, I think we had... Yeah, so Silas, I think, was voting for Guthrie. Stan says, I have mixed feelings now. I love some blues and jazz. Take me away. Stunning, yet I will say a time and a place. Well, one thing I will say. So one thing, I mean, you guys are free to vote however you'd like. I'd say for this particular bracket, you know, we're looking for the best lead guitarist. And so I think we're looking for the whole package. So we're looking for the skill side of it, like, yes, fast, technical playing, all that, but also the soul behind it, like good note choices and just melody and just like catchy and emotional kind of solos and that sort of thing. So based off of this, again, I think sounds like a very epic track, sounds like a very like emotional, heartfelt solo, but I think compared to this kind of playing, like, there's just a lot of energy right there. So, yeah, so I think for me, when it comes to Eddie and Gary, I think I'm going to have to go Eddie. What about you guys? What's your vote, Eddie or Gary? Let me know in the chat. And then... Okay. And I think, well, we'll see. Might have to, well, we might be able to break that in a tie, so we'll see in just a moment. Man, I lost the chat here. Where's it at? Here we go. Yeah, we got a couple votes for Eddie. And actually, I think we got a few votes. Yep. I love Gary Moore, but Eddie Van Halen is just that. I vote Eddie. Yeah. I had a feeling. I think it's got to go Eddie. So here we go. Yep. I think that was Stan, Chad, Clay. So quite a few there. Let me see. These two don't seem to be in the same kind of guitarist, like apples and oranges. And yeah, that's kind of part of it, I would say, is that's kind of how it's going to go. Sometimes we were sort of debating that a little bit of how sometimes, you know, playing fast isn't everything. Sometimes what's best for the song is just something soulful and melodic. But I think for this particular competition, this particular bracket, we are sort of leaning more towards the full-on package, you know. All right, one last time. I keep coming back to these two. Right now, we've got a tie between Josh Middleton and BucketHead. Let me think. Unless I'm missing one. So I'm going to play them one more time just to let you guys hear. So anyone who hasn't voted for Josh Middleton or BucketHead, just want to give you guys a chance to hear them and pick which one you like better out of the two. So here is BucketHead. And if it does end up in a tie, then we'll just we'll flip a coin for it. And actually, if everyone could, even if you've already voted, between BucketHead and I just want to make sure I'm not missing one. Between BucketHead and Josh Middleton, let me know who your vote goes for. I know Clay and Chad said BucketHead, but you can go ahead and type that again. And then I said Josh Middleton, and I think someone else did. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's vote, so I think Stan said Josh Middleton, so and he does some pretty sweet tapping here in a moment. Yeah, so he's all over the guitar. There's BucketHead, and then here's a little taste of Josh Middleton from Sylosis. I will say, man, see how relaxed he looks? He's just like, yeah, no big deal. Just, you know. Which that's how, like, all these guys are. Like, BucketHead and Guthrie. Like, these guys are just super good at guitar. They just, like, you know, they almost look bored. But, yeah, let's see. Both very impressive, yep. And Silas, who did you vote for? Like, it helps when you guys type, like, who you're actually voting for, so that way I can see. Yeah, Stan said Josh. So I think we just need from Lady C and Silas, between those two, who you're voting for. And anyone else tuning in, don't be shy. Say hello, and there's still time to vote. So Silas says Josh. Dudes don't have a swivel chair. Just say, yeah. I think when Clay plays his solos, he's got a swivel chair. So that might make it a little tougher, I guess. Maybe. Yep. All right. So it looks like it comes down to a tie because Silas said Josh, but Lady C says BucketHead. So we're gonna go ahead and break this. With a flip of the coin. So the logo is heads. The blank side is tails. Here we go. Actually, I didn't establish who. Okay. So it was heads, but I feel like it's cheap if it's like, oh, it was heads. It goes to so-and-so. One more thing to clarify. We'll say heads is the top, tails is the bottom, okay? So I'll do it again, but if it's tails, it'll go to the top. Sorry, heads top, tails bottom. All right, and it's tails, so that's going to go to Buckethead. I think he's going to advance to the next round. All right. Next, we've got Roy Clark versus Marty Friedman. Now, I'm not familiar with Roy Clark, but I do have some Marty Friedman on here. Let me find the video of him real quick. All right, so here is some footage of Marty Friedman playing. Lady C knows who Roy Clark is. We'll let that play in the background. I'm going to look up Roy Clark. Any particular songs for Roy Clark that I should check out? Just going to look up guitar solo for now, but if there's a certain song, let me know. So I got to admit, I think Marty Friedman is killing it, but I feel like I've heard better from him. I just don't know where to look. I feel like I've seen, like, maybe his solo stuff is a little more showy. It's a lot of hair. All right. Okay, let's see here. Well, that was Marty Friedman, yep. I just get excited when I actually know something, yep. So Lady C says. Going to be a weird comparison again. That's all right. I'm a big Megadeth fan. That's what Clay says. All right, we're going to check out Roy Clark. Oh, so is he more like acoustic kind of stuff? Let's check out... I'm trying to think what would be a good one. Well, this one says Guitar Wizard, so we'll check this one out.
New Goldfish Crisps. Taste how Goldfish does chips.
Yeah, I have a feeling these might be different genres here, but hey, you know, nothing wrong with that. We're just kind of judging the overall guitar playing.
LOL, Sally, watch this video.
Sally.
All right, there we go.
What comes out, I just have to...
I'm going to take a guess that, I feel like my dad probably knows who Roy Clark is. I wonder if he looked up to Roy Clark. Because my dad's a pretty good player. But, you know, he grew up admiring a lot of, just a lot of the guitarists from this time. And this kind of genre, a lot of, like, acoustic or, like, you know, rock and roll. Ooh, listen to that. This could be tough. Olay, man. Yeah, Roy Clark was insane. Yeah, really impressive what I'm hearing so far. Stan says Roy Clark can play anything. Look up Roy Clark, 2 minutes of absolute guitar fire. Yeah. Roy Clark was on Hee Haw with Buck Owens. I think my dad watched Hee Haw a lot. Both legends. One thing I really like about his playing... Oh, that's cool. So this is a straight up backing, straight up solo without a backing track. And it still sounds very musical. It doesn't sound like just this aimless melody. That's impressive. I have to check out more of him. I bet my dad knows Roy Clark. I'll have to ask him when I get home later. That's impressive. Again, both super good guitarists. I actually really like Marty Friedman, but I kind of feel like in this situation, I feel like Roy Clark is the underdog. So I think I'm going to vote the underdog here. Again, either of them probably could, but I think my vote, that was impressive. I'm going to go with Roy Clark. He's amazing, and that's without effects. Yeah, just pure acoustic guitar. Yeah, super impressive. Let's see here. If Roy Clark had effects, it would sound awesome. He probably would, which I saw a clip of him. It looked like he was playing like a semi-electric in one of these videos. I'm not going to watch it now just for time's sake. Yeah, like right here. I'd be curious to hear like what he sounds like on that. But for time's sake, I'm just going to add that to watch later. Same thing here. Looks like he's maybe playing. But yeah, my vote's going to go for him. What do you guys think? Roy Clark, Marty Friedman. Which one are you guys voting for? Stan says Roy, so there's another one for Roy there. And what about the rest of you? You going Roy or Marty Friedman? Got another vote for Roy from Clay. And if there are any more, just let me know. So, yep, Roy. All right. I think it's safe to say, I think Roy has advanced. All right, cool. Okay, that's half the bracket so far. So, all right, got a few more, and then maybe I'll play a tune for you. Okay, we got Paul Waggoner versus Jimi Hendrix. Now here's another one. I got to be honest. I feel like my man Paul is probably the underdog here, because I know Jimmy has got quite a reputation. This is going to be an interesting one because I know Jimmy's good, and me, objectively speaking, I need to hear his playing again, because just from memory, I actually think Paul might be the better guitarist, but Jimmy might just be like a very tasteful player. But maybe he's better than I'm remembering. Maybe he's like, I don't know. Maybe he's better than I'm giving him credit for. Because sometimes that's the case. Sometimes there's a lot of guitarists who build up a good reputation, and they are good musicians, but they are a little overhyped sometimes. And I'm not saying Jimi Hendrix is overhyped, but he does fall danger into that category of those musicians who like people just idolize them so much. And yes, they were very good, but they're not that much better than a lot of other very proficient guitarists. But I could be wrong. If anyone has a suggestion what Jimi Hendrix song I should check out, let me know. So this is kind of just some riffy stuff. So here's what I'll say about Paul. I don't know if he's quite as shreddy as some of the other guys we've been looking at, but he is very good at using the whole guitar, like just for riffs. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Like, Between the Buried and Me was one of those bands. When I first heard these guys, I didn't know guitar could be played like this. Like, he's not playing a solo right now. This is the riff. You know? And he uses, like, the whole guitar. It's so often that when people write riffs, they just kind of play down here. But he uses, like, the whole guitar, like, just for playing the music, not even doing a solo. I think he gets into a little bit of lead stuff here. Yeah, I love this band, so I want to show off. I don't know if there's any other, like, solos. I don't know if you noticed, the song's like 10 minutes, by the way. That's Between the Buried and Me for you. I think here's an actual solo. I think they did this. Yeah, this was during, like, quarantine. Voodoo, yep. Jimi Hendrix Voodoo, yep. Yeah, we'll check that one out. I'll let y'all listen to this while I'm looking up. Voodoo Child. Skip ahead a little bit. Oh yeah, these guitar harmonies. Just sounds good. Oh. I think there's kind of a big finale here. Very clean. All right, so that's Paul Waggoner. Let's have a listen to Jimi Hendrix. I wonder if there's. Let me look up live, just because sometimes you can get like copyright. I can get the video blocked or whatever. Let's see here. Let's try this one. Clay says that was cool. Yeah, you should check them out if you haven't heard them before. Between the Buried and Me. They're a favorite of mine. Yes, Silas says, do you know John Foreman from Switchfoot? I do. Yeah, I like Switchfoot pretty good, and like a few of their songs. And I do know John Foreman. He's done a few solo things too. Yeah, definitely a good player. Definitely has good soul. Let's hear some solo work. very tasteful. I'm gonna make an honest confession real quick. So I used to not like lead guitarists. Like, I didn't like guitar solos. And there were a couple reasons for that. So one, there was this kid I grew up with who went to my church, and he was a very good guitarist. And I would hear him playing solos, and I always thought it was annoying. Like, if you ever hear someone playing a solo without a backing track, without a band behind them, sometimes the solo can sound kind of just sort of aimless. Like, you know, it just sounds like a bunch of random notes. You don't really hear the context. And there's a skate video I watched called Almost Round 3. And whose skate part was it? I think it was Greg Lutzka was the skater, and he had a Jimi Hendrix song. It was All Along the Watchtower. But when I watched it on this little TV, little speakers, didn't even have stereo output. It was like one speaker. And so during Jimmy's solo sections, you couldn't really hear like the background music. And I kind of thought it was annoying. I was like, man, this just sounds, you know, just hearing all these random notes and noises. And it wasn't until later when I actually heard the music through proper speakers and I could hear the background music with the melody. It was like, oh, now this makes sense. And like, now it sounds good. And yeah, All Along the Watchtower is a great song. So it's like, I know it's like, kind of shocking to admit that, but I thought that'd be funny. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix definitely shreds. I'm actually almost a little more impressed with like his licks, like his riff stuff more than his lead play. He does a lot of string bends. Like, he kind of does a lot of... kind of just a lot of string bends. I know he's doing more than that. I know he's got some noodling in there, but that's a string bend. There's a lot of power in a good string bend, but that's probably my only like little nitpick is that I think there's some players that they do a lot of string bends that have a lot of that soul behind it, but they're not really doing much more than that. So yeah, both are good. And again, I feel like Paul's probably the underdog here, so I'm going to vote for Paul. But what about you guys? Paul Waggoner or Jimi Hendrix? Where are your votes going? So let's see. We've got a vote for Jimmy from Chad. Iconic lead here. Spanish Castle Magic is one of my favorite Jimmy songs. I'm actually not sure if I've heard that one. I'll have to check that one out. I know you've done a Meant to Live tutorial. That's right. Yeah, I did do a tutorial for how to play the song Meant to Live by Switchfoot. But anyone just tuning in, we're voting right now. Paul Waggoner versus Jimi Hendrix. So please type your vote in the chat. Who you're voting for between those two. Again, I'll let's see. I think we got some votes. Paul is new to me, so I'll choose him. Okay, well, we got another vote for Paul here. And Chad said Jimmy, so we got 2 for Paul, 1 for Jimmy. Again, here's a little bit of Jimmy. And then here's a little bit of Paul for anyone just tuning in. Stan says I'm going Jimmy because I learned from Jimmy. Nothing wrong with that. All right, we got another vote for Jimmy. So I think we're at a tie right now. So if there's anyone out there who can break the tie for us, we need another vote either for Paul or Jimmy. And if we don't get another vote, then I will break the tie with a coin flip. Okay, let's see here. We got Kirk Hammett versus Paul Gilbert. Now, this is a matchup that I truly have no bias one way or the other. In fact, as far as music goes, I probably listen to Metallica more than I would Paul Gilbert stuff. But Paul Gilbert is another one of those, like, just shred guys. Like that's all he's known for. And so I have a feeling it's going to go to Paul Gilbert, but we'll see. Here is a video of Paul Gilbert playing.
Tax Act doesn't sponsor any cool pro
So we'll
athletes.
have a listen to this.
Tax Act is too focused.
And I actually don't know too much about Paul Gilbert. I only know him for his solo stuff. I don't know if...
People are looking for a simple way.
I don't know if... Hey, I'd take a sponsorship from GNC. All right. I don't know if he played in a band or something, or if he's always just done solo guitar work. Lady C says, oh, but I don't want to be up to me. Yep. That's why you got to vote quick. You got to cast your vote quick so it's not up to you at the end. Silas, you could vote too. I don't think you've cast your vote. Who are you voting for, Silas? Jimi Hendrix or Paul Waggoner? Yeah, like sheesh. Already. Lady C's going to take her pills. Did the ad remind you? That's some pretty impressive noodling. Kind of just doing some riff stuff. See this little tidbit here. It's playing with a very clean tone as well. Like, yes, there's some crunch on there, but it's not like super distorted. All right, that's pretty impressive. Let's compare that to Kirk Hammett. I'm actually not sure how Kirk is going to compare. Again, in context with the band, Kirk has some great guitar solos from Metallica. Some good tapping there. This is a really good solo. This is going to be tough. I want to see him playing. one thing I will point out, he does have the band behind him, which adds a lot of energy to what he's playing. And so I think sonically, I'm kind of digging Kirk's solos better, but I think play-wise, I think Paul Gilbert might still have my vote. But yeah, Kirk's really good playing from him. What do you guys think? Who are y'all voting for in that situation? This is easy for me. Mr. Kirk, all the way. I grew up with his music. Yeah, I think either one is a respectable choice. Again, like I said, I think musically, I would probably go Kirk also. But I think guitar-wise, I think I'm going to give it to Paul. I don't know. I was pretty impressed with what he was doing there, especially just by himself. So there we go. So I'm going Paul. We got one for Kirk from Clay. What about the rest of you all? Who are you voting for? Got another vote for Kirk from Chad. All right. And anyone else who would like to vote? All right. And man, I will say, hopefully you guys have been enjoying this. I mean, I think it's been fun, but it's I might have to keep it at 8 nominees or something. Maybe 16 is just a little too much. It usually speeds up once we get through the initial round and stuff. But yeah, whoever would like to vote, yep, for Kirk and Paul. I'll let y'all have a listen real quick. Here's some more of Kirk playing. And then here's Paul Gilbert.
Ensure your small business with a fellow small business owner.
So yeah, if you haven't voted yet, we've got Kirk Hammett versus Paul Gilbert.
Your mattress.
I could probably use a new mattress, so Purple, if you want to sponsor me, I'd be down for that. Let's see. Like, that's pretty impressive right there. Wish the cameraman would show his hands. Like, that's really clean and very consistent. Yeah, both very good guitarists. For me, I'm going to go Paul. Clay and Chad are voting Kirk. If you have not voted yet, please feel free to cast a vote. Type in the chat, are you voting for Kirk Hammett or Paul Gilbert out of those two? And as you are casting those votes, we will have a look. I think we've only got, we've got 2 more, and then we can speed run. All right, we've got Kirk. He's a good player for sure. Yep. But it does look like it might be going to Kirk, unless I don't know if Stan and Lady Sia voted yet. They could potentially bring it to a tie. But I feel like, I know Stan's a pretty big Metallica fan, so I feel like he's probably going to go Kirk. All right. We got Eric Johnson versus Stephen Carpenter. I think Stephen Carpenter is from Deftones. And I got to be honest, again, Deftones is one of those bands that I don't know them to be shredders. You know, I think they're more, their music is more of a vibe than anything. And even, let's see, who is he going up against? Ooh, this is actually tough because I do like Eric Johnson. But I like Deftones. I like the vibe of their music. But I don't know that I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna look up guitar solo and see. Like I don't know Deftones to be like a shreddy band, so I'm curious what we will hear. Let's check this out. This is a NAMM show, so he might just be showing off some guitar pedals, or maybe he'll be
for everyone
playing some actual solos. Silas says I can play Enter Sandman from Metallica on guitar. Yeah, that's a fun song to play.
My moisture. CeraVe cleansers help me maintain my moisture balance with hyaluronic acid plus 3 essential ceramides to help restore my natural barrier.
Come on. Okay.
So Fluent of like artists come to use Fishman and Fluent.
Only one guitar set up with the pickups while we're doing that record. And to you, as you already could hear.
I think he's just been talking the whole time. See, my concern, like I'm trying to find like a tidbit of him like shredding real quick. But I just think it's going to be very like atmospheric, very ambient kind of stuff, which is cool. You know, it's great for their music, but it might not be the best. Like that sounds really nice. Like I really like that sound, but yeah, that's a good song. I'll try one more just to give him a chance. But yeah, I'm not really expecting much shredding. Kind of just some riffage. He goes up the neck here. Yeah, I mean, if someone has a suggestion of a song to check out, I'd be willing to listen. But this might be a freebie for Eric Johnson. I love this song, Cliffs of Dover. This is a fun riff to play on guitar, and this was like one of my favorite songs to play on Guitar Hero. Okay.
Wow. New wavy perforations tear so much better. New Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
A little bit of an intro solo, but I'm going to get to like where I love his guitar tone. It's super, really clean, precise playing. I want to keep listening, but I want to get to where the song kicks in. Yeah, here we go. I love that little riff. And then this chorus is a lot of fun to play right here. Hey, we got Red Infinity in the chat. It's been a while since I've been here. Appreciate you tuning in. We're doing a bracket for best lead guitarists, so feel free to cast your vote. Right now we're doing Eric Johnson versus Mick Thompson, I think is who it was. No, Stephen Carpenter, sorry. And I'm just going to save us some time. Again, Deftones, great band, but I think if we're talking guitarists, I think it's got to go to Eric Johnson. That's my vote. What do you guys vote? Eric or Stephen for that? Let me know your vote. And we've got some other brackets to vote for as well. So, but yeah, so let me know. Eric Johnson or Stephen, please type in the chat who your vote is going for. Also, we still have... Well, we've got Kirk Hammett versus Paul Gilbert, but right now Kirk's got the lead, so if anyone who hasn't voted wants to contribute to that, you can, but we do kind of have that. And we do have a tie between Paul Waggoner and Jimi Hendrix, so if anyone wants to break that tie and vote between one of them. Otherwise, we'll leave that up to a coin toss. Let's see here, catching up with the chat. But yeah, Eric Johnson or Stephen Carpenter. And then the last one we have is George Harrison and Ollie Herbert. Now, Ollie Herbert was one of my favorite guitarists. I'm not familiar with George Harrison, so I'll have to look up. I don't know if anyone has a suggestion. Red says, I got to get back to work, but I'll return in 3-ish hours. Well, I do hope you enjoy the replay, but I appreciate you slipping by to say hello, and I hope work goes well for you. And if you want, I can actually play a song for you real quick. We got another vote for Eric Johnson. Yeah, if you can hang out for a moment, Red, I'll play a quick instrumental for you, and then we'll get back to our bracket here. So 1 second. Yeah, here we go. This is just an instrumental. I hope you like it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed that. All right, we're going to try to speed run through the what's left of this bracket here. If you haven't voted yet, please type your votes in the chat. I'll bring the bracket back up so you can see it. But Red, I hope work goes well for you, and I hope you enjoyed that little ditty there. Let's see here. Yeah, I've had another vote for Eric. I agree with what was said about Deftones being cool, but I do think Eric Johnson's part sounds better. Oh, thank you, Clay. Appreciate that. Yep. Thank you. Sounds great. Yep. My pleasure, Red. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by. And I should be going live again next week. So if you can't hang out for the rest of this one, maybe next time you can hang out for the next one. But every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep. Another vote for Eric. Cool. So, all right. And then the last bracket, and then I think we'll get through the rest of these. All right. George Harrison versus Ollie Herbert. If anyone has a song suggestion for George Harrison, let me know. But I've got an Ollie Herbert one right here. Ollie Herbert was one of my favorite guitarists from the band All That Remains. Again, just like a very good player, but I just loved his note choices. Like I loved the I liked the notes he picked. I liked the sound of the melodies that he structured. So this is actually a guitar lesson, but at the end he demonstrates the solo. So we'll get to where he plays it. It's kind of funny. He spends the whole video teaching how to play the solo, and then at the end it just takes him a few seconds to play it.
Here it is, up the tempo with the backing track.
That's pretty impressive. So let's see. Here's one more clip of him playing. It's a pretty short one, so we'll check this out real quick. Lady C, you don't need to be nervous about voting. We need your vote. Well, thank you. So you sounded great. And hey, Auntie Jack, appreciate you tuning in. Like, yeah, he just picked some good notes. So, all right, let's check out George Harrison. George Harrison guitar solo. Gonna try to, probably gonna have to kind of speed through the rest of this because, yeah, the stream went a little lengthier than I was anticipating. So, we might just try. I guess we'll try this one here.
Little Caesar slices and sticks is the world's greatest combination. Carl?
And I haven't had dinner yet, so that commercial was making me a little hungry. All right, here we go. George Harrison. See, don't say you need my vote. That's just gonna make me go into hiding again. It just lets you know how important you are, you know. For George Harrison, play George Harrison's Something Live in London, 1992. Something Live. All right, let's check this one out. We'll grab this one, but it does look like there is a solo in here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I do like the vibe of this one. tasteful. Masterful playing all the way through, says Chad. Yeah, definitely, yeah, sounds very nice. I really like the vibe of that track, and I think, hopefully I caught it. I'll check one more time. This is like just the solo here. I'm pretty sure that was it. But I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Overpowered germs. Without an overpowering
So yeah, sorry if I'm
now,
kind of having to rush through some of this. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds similar. Yeah, okay. Cool. So I really like the way that sounded, but I do think for, if we're talking like proficiency, I think I got to go Ollie Herbert on this one. But what about you guys? What are y'all voting? Ollie Herbert or George Harrison? Again, here's George Harrison again. Go ahead and type your vote in the chat. This is his solo. I like that little slidey thing he does there. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. All right, and then here's a little snippet of Ollie Herbert. Hold up. All right, so for me, I'm going to go with Ollie. But what about you guys? Got to vote for George. Yep. So, Lady C, we could use your vote. We could use your tiebreaker here. And Clay or Jack, Anti-Jack, you know, if any of you want to cast a vote, let me know, and we'll go from here. So, otherwise, we'll go to a coin toss. So, please type your vote in the chat for George Harrison or Ollie Herbert. Now, I am going to go ahead for Paul Waggoner and Jimi Hendrix. I'm going to flip a coin on that one. Yep, Clay says Ollie. All right, so there's one more. If you haven't voted yet, there's still time. But while you're voting for either George or Ollie, we have a tie between Paul Waggoner and Jimi Hendrix. I'm just going to go ahead and flip a coin. Again, heads is for the top one, Paul Waggoner. Tails is for the bottom, Jimi Hendrix. So let's see what we get here. We got heads, so that's going to go to Paul Waggoner. So he'll be advancing to the next round. And we're going to try to speed run through these next ones. And let's see, any more? All right, I think we're going to move on. So I think we're going to give that last one to Ollie Herbert there. So, whew. All right, let's see if we can speed run through this. All right, we got BucketHead versus Guthrie Govan. Who you guys voting for? I'll play some clips, but go ahead and cast your votes. They're both really good. Man, that's a tough one. I think arguably, I'll admit, I think BucketHead might be a little more versatile, but I think I like Guthrie's style better, and he's very, very good. So I'm going to go Guthrie Govan. But what about you guys? BucketHead or Guthrie Govan? Let me know your vote. I'll pull up some clips of them. Here was, if I can find them real quick. Here's some Guthrie, if you don't already know your vote. All right, from Clay, we got another vote for Guthrie.
When migraine strikes, Ubrelvy quickly eliminates pain. Know your early migraine signs? Symptoms like neck pain or light sensitivity could mean head pain.
Here's a quick little taste of Guthrie Govan. I think I skipped his solo. He like just finished. And we're gonna go super fast, just like these solos. So I'm trying to find the BucketHead video. Yep, so there's Guthrie Govan. Here's some BucketHead. So cast your vote, Guthrie Govan or BucketHead. Got to vote for BucketHead. All right, so right now Guthrie's got the lead, but if you haven't voted yet, you can still change the outcome of that. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. But yeah, cast your vote for BucketHead or Guthrie Govan. Next bracket, we got Eddie Van Halen versus Roy Clark. Now, I think Roy Clark... Yeah, Roy Clark was the one that really surprised me. I appreciate you guys bringing my attention to Roy Clark. So I'm kind of... I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. It's gonna get tough, like, once we get further up the bracket. Let me see if I can find Eddie real quick. This is Kirk, but we're not on him yet. I think he advanced. All right, here's some footage of Eddie playing. I'm just going to skip ahead. And all right, this one's actually going to be kind of tough. I'm going to pick... Let's check this one out. I haven't seen this one yet, but...
Let me show you something.
Motorola Razr is bringing a different perspective.
Like, wow. Like, yeah, I'm definitely going to check out more of Roy Clark. I gotta say, I really like this because it reminds me of my dad. And I mean that in a good way. Like, this just sounds like the stuff that my dad would kind of play. Man, that's tough. I don't know. They're both really good. I think for today, I'm gonna go Roy Clark. I think it could be either of them, Eddie or Roy, but my vote's gonna go to Roy. What about you guys? Yep, we got Eddie, but I love Roy, so we got to vote for Eddie there. So we need a tiebreaker there. Yep. So if you haven't voted yet, yep, we're voting between Eddie Van Halen and Roy Clark. So again, here's a little bit of Roy Clark. I really like that. That sounds good. And then here's some Eddie Van Halen. Eddie does really shred, though. Both very good guitarists. So I think either one is worthy of going on. I got to go with Eddie overall. All right, so we got another vote for Eddie. And again, so right now, Eddie's taken that. But again, if you haven't voted yet, you can still vote for Roy or Eddie. And you can still vote for BucketHead or Guthrie if you haven't voted yet. All right, next, we got Paul Waggoner and Kirk Hammett. Man, this is tough. I'm trying to be objective here. You know, I'm going to say this. I will say I definitely like Between the Buried and Me better. Like, they're one of my favorite bands. Obviously, Metallica is legendary. And I think as an overall guitarist, I actually think Paul is a contender for being a better overall guitarist, like not just solo stuff. But I was really impressed with just a little bit of solos I was seeing from Kirk. So I'm going to go with Paul. But again, I think either of them is worth, could move forward. Gosh, I wasn't sure how I wanted to phrase that. Here's some Kirk, if I can find him. Yeah, here we go. But go ahead and cast your votes. Silas is saying Eddie. Lady C says, see, I would have made both of those tie, and then we'd be here longer. Well, if there's ever a tie, we need your tiebreaker. If you're going to make it back into a tie,
is it the final vote?
Then sure, you can use that as an excuse if you'd like.
Loved most.
Although in the event of a tie,
or Cadbury?
Actually, in the event of a tie, it just comes down to a coin toss. So I'm going to skip ahead. So here's some Kirk. But yeah, go ahead and cast your vote. Here's Kirk Hammett. Yep, the dude has a lot of energy to his solos. Here's some Paul Waggoner. Again, I'm going to go with Paul for this one, but cast your vote. So yeah, are you going Kirk Hammett or Paul Waggoner? Please type your vote in the chat. Also, little honorable mention. This guy in the corner here, this drummer, that's Blake Richardson. Dude is literally like one of the best drummers, like, ever. That's not me, like, being biased or anything. It's just I'm always so blown away. So I know we're talking guitars today, but you should definitely treat yourself to looking up some Blake Richardson and just checking out some of his drumming. He is an incredible drummer. All right, so we got Kirk Hammett versus Paul Waggoner. What are you guys voting? We got from 6 Cents, Kirk, and we got Kirk from Chad. So Kirk and Kirk. Let's see here. I don't have an opinion on the rest of them. So, well, again, just whatever you hear and whatever you like. If you hear something you like, you can cast a vote on that. All right. I love Kirk, but my vote goes to Paul. Okay, interesting. So we've got a tie here. Lady C, you want to break the tie for us? We got Paul versus Kirk. We need to break a tie on that. So if you haven't voted yet for Paul or Kirk, please cast a vote. Type your vote in the chat, and you can break the tie. If no one votes, we'll break it with a coin toss. I'm going to move on for now, but these are still open. So you can still vote for BucketHead or Guthrie Govan. You can still vote for Eddie versus Roy Clark. And this is the one we really need to vote on. We need Paul versus Kirk, because that's tied right now. And then in this one, we got Eric Johnson. Ooh, man, this is tough. Eric Johnson versus Ollie Herbert. Ollie Herbert's one of my favorite guitarists, but I really like Eric Johnson. I really don't know. Let's have a listen to both real quick. I'm going to try to, just get a little taste and kind of look objectively. Here's one we didn't watch yet of Ollie. And we've only got time to just check a snippet.
Hey, my name is Ollie Herbert from the band All That Remains, and I'm here trying out bias effects from Positive Grid.
We'll get to where he's doing some solo stuff.
So the tone that I used today felt very responsive to me.
We're going to check out the outro here for this one. So we got Ollie Herbert versus Eric Johnson. check out this ending. Gosh. I'm really torn on this one. Man, I like both of them. I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for. All right. Silas says Kirk. So I think, let's see. Did you break the tie for us? Let me. Yep. Looks like right now we got Kirk advancing. What do you guys think? Eric Johnson versus Ollie Herbert. I'm pretty torn here. We got Eric Johnson from Clay. I might kind of wait and see what you guys say. What do you guys think? Eric Johnson or Ollie Herbert? Man, I'm very torn. Yep, so for Eric Johnson versus Ollie Herbert, man, I really don't know. I think they're both great guitarists. I tell you what. All right, we got one for Herbert. Man, this is tough. Gosh, I don't know. I'm kind of... Got another one for Eric. I'm kind of leaning towards Herbert. Well, actually, I don't even know. I was going to say out of respect, just because he died fairly young. I wanted to see... Is Eric Johnson... Eric Johnson's still alive, so... I didn't think he'd passed yet, but Ollie Herbert died kind of young. I think out of respect, I'm going to go with Herbert, but I really like Eric Johnson. This is a tough call. So, and I think I'm going to do that just to make it a tie so we can break it with a coin toss. So, all right. So this one, we're going to break with a coin toss. One last time, we got Buckethead versus Guthrie. Looks like Guthrie's going to advance unless someone votes differently. Eddie Van Halen versus Roy Clark. Looks like Eddie's going to advance once again, unless somebody votes to change the outcome. And right now we've got Kirk advancing versus Paul Waggoner. And then this one's a tie. So I'm going to flip a coin. Again, heads is for the top. So heads is for Eric Johnson. Tails is for Ollie Herbert. Let's see what we get. Heads. So we're going to give it to Eric Johnson. He will be advancing. All right, we're going to move on. All right, we're almost at the finish line. Guthrie Govan versus Eddie Van Halen. Again, both remarkable guitarists. I'd be okay with either one. I kind of feel like Guthrie is the underdog here, so I'm going to vote Guthrie. But I have a feeling it's going to be Eddie. If y'all need to hear real quick, here is a little bit of each of them, if I can find them. Here's Guthrie. So cast your vote. You going Guthrie Govan or Eddie Van Halen? Yep, type your vote in the chat.
Over 1,000 uses. Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Uh-oh.
Whenever you're in a rush, that's when the ads are like, you know what? You haven't had enough ads yet. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead. I want to see what happens here. There's like a click spot here. Oh, yeah, this is cool. Guthrie's really good, man. But so was Eddie. Here's some Guthrie. Here's some Eddie. Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go Guthrie. What are you guys voting? Yep, we got 2 for Eddie. Eddie and Eddie. If you haven't voted yet, please cast your vote. Guthrie versus Eddie. Got Guthrie from Clay. So we got a tie, so if there's anyone out there who could break the tie, we need a vote for either Guthrie or Eddie. Here's Eddie playing right now. All right, and then the other bracket, this is the semifinals right now, so that's what we're voting on. Whew, man, this is tough. Kirk Hammett versus Eric Johnson. Again, I like both of them. I think I'm going to go Eric on this one. I like both, but I don't know. Today I'm going Eric. I think any day I could go someone different, but today I'm going Eric, so... What about you guys? Eric Johnson or Guthrie Govan? Here's a little bit of Eric Johnson. And, sorry, did I say Guthrie Govan? I meant Eric Johnson and Kirk Hammett. Get to where he's... That is some impressive noodling right there. Okay, here's some Kirk. Again, really, any of these could be the winner. We're just seeing who's the winner for tonight. Yep, we got Eric for both Sixth Sense and Clay. All right, so looks like Eric might be making it. All right, we still need a tiebreaker. Is there anyone out there who hasn't voted for Guthrie or Eddie? If not, I'm going to flip a coin in just a moment here. But this is your last chance. So if you haven't voted for Guthrie, Lady C, you could be the tiebreaker. Yep. And we got a vote for Kirk. But I think Eddie's going to be advancing. And I think we're going to do a coin toss. But there we go. There's a vote for Kirk. All right. If no one is voting for Guth or Eddie, we're going to let the coin toss decide. So heads is for the top one, Guthrie Govan. Tails is for the bottom one, Eddie Van Halen. Let's see what we get. And it's tails, so it's going to go to Eddie Van Halen. All right, we are in the finals. All right, this is it. We've got Eddie Van Halen versus Eric Johnson. Both incredible. Again, I think for this particular... either one is worthy of winning. But for me, I think I'm going to go Eric. What about you guys? Eric or Eddie? Let's listen to some Eddie real quick. If I can find him. Here we go.
You'll never forget an anniversary when it's easy to get flowers this fresh. DoorDash.
All right. think I'd take a sponsorship from Peloton. So, if Peloton's watching. Here's Eddie. Yep, some very good noodling. And then one last time, here's Eric Johnson. Both very good. I think Eric Johnson is, well, I don't know. I think you could say it about both of them. That they're both really good at utilizing the whole guitar. Again, I think it could go either way. But for me, I'm going to go Eric Johnson. What about you guys? Let's see. Here, one second. Okay. I'm going to type something. Okay, please type your vote one more time, just because I don't want to be confusing your vote for the previous vote. So one more time. I typed final vote, so anything under that, that's going to be the final vote. So, yep, Eric or Eddie Van Halen. I think I'm seeing this correctly, because I think Kirk was the last vote from Chad. So I think, if I'm reading this correctly, I think Clay is voting for Eric. Yep. And then I think Sixth Sense is voting for Eddie. So we got another for Eric. We got Eddie. Chad, if you're still out there, who are you going with? Yep. So if anyone's watching, this is it. This is the final vote. Last chance to vote. We got Eric Johnson versus Eddie Van Halen. So right now we got 2 votes for Eric. That's my vote and Clay. And then Sixth Sense was voting for Eddie Van Halen. And if you have not voted, you are still welcome to. So please, yep. So from Chad, we got Eddie. So if no one breaks the tie, it's going to come down to a coin toss. But you could break the tie. You could change the outcome. So if you have not voted, we'll give you just a moment. And then, yeah, and then we'll put a wrap on this. I got one more song I'll play for you guys, but I do hope you all have enjoyed this stream. These bracket segments are maybe going a little longer than I'd like them to. I mean, I do enjoy them. I do think they're fun, but they just go maybe a little longer than I'd like. I wish there was some way I could speed up the process a little bit. But I hope you all have enjoyed it. It's been fun watching some of these guitarists, and I'm going to send you guys off with one final piece of music. So here we go. I tell you what. I'll play the last song, and then we will cast the final vote. So if anyone wants to break the tie, we've got Eric Johnson versus Eddie Van Halen. There's still a chance, but I'm going to go ahead and play one last piece of music for you, and then we will... brackets are fun. Yep, Clay. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. That's good to hear, Clay. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I think they're pretty fun, too. So, you guys, it's always nice to, again, people bring in new music. So they're kind of a nice way to discover new artists and new music. So you guys certainly introduced me to a few artists that I was not aware of. And I was pleasantly surprised. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to play my last piece of music for you. And then we'll see what the final vote is. Either someone can vote to break the tie, or we'll let the coin toss decide. So we'll see. But this is going to be my last song for the evening, and it is appropriately titled Hard Goodbyes. This is a song I have released, so yeah, you'll be able to check this one out again later. So, man, don't know how my hand's feeling. We'll see if I can play this. Here we go. Thank you. So with that, we're going to determine the winner of the bracket. And this is going to be a wrap on this stream after this. But out of all the instrumentals that I've played tonight, that is one that I actually have released. So if you like that song, you're certainly welcome to check it out again. That one was called Hard Goodbyes. There's a link if you'd like to check it out. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate that. Chad says, bravo. Sounded great. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. Clay, I appreciate that. All right. Well, I don't think we have a final vote. So I think it's going to come down to a good old coin toss. We're going to let fate decide who the winner of tonight's bracket is. Again, I think on any night, depending who was watching, any of these contestants could have won. But we're just going to see who happens to win tonight. Now, Lady C, we could leave it to fate, or we could let you vote. You could vote for one of these, and I didn't have to vote, but I don't think she's wanting to. So, we'll make do with fate. So, all right, here we go. Top one, heads is for Eddie Van Halen. Tails is for Eric Johnson. Here we go. We're going to see who the winner of tonight's bracket is. And it is Tails. So that goes to Eric Johnson. Again, both great guitarists, but tonight's winner is going to be Eric Johnson. So there we go. A lot of great nominees, some great music to check out. Thank you guys for introducing me to Roy Clark. Again, it just reminds me of my dad a lot. So I'm going to ask Dad about him and see if Dad is familiar with him. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all did enjoy the bracket segment. Again, these tend to go a little longer than I like, but I thought it was fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Got a few closing things, and then we're going to put a wrap on this. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support me, I'm going to post a virtual tip jar, and so I certainly appreciate your support, allowing me to do this. And again, some of you might have heard that before I started this stream, I was actually working on some merch stuff. I'm getting my merch store set up, and so that is getting very close to being ready to be published. So that's coming soon. If you're not signed up for my email list, I'm going to post a link for that. This allows me to notify you directly, let you know whenever I've got a new song coming out, whenever I'm going live, new videos, stuff like that. So if you want to stay up to date, if you want to stay notified with all my releases and all my activity, sign up for my email list. There's a link for that I just posted in the description. And Lady C says, I'm sure your dad will know Roy Clark. Yeah, I have a feeling. Two of the best guitars for sure. Yep, we had a lot of good contenders here. It always comes, we usually have good finales. It usually comes down to it could be anybody's game. And so sometimes I think it's nice to, maybe fate is the best way to let it end, But guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have not already liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And with that said, I think we're going to put a wrap on this. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening or morning, afternoon, night, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Until next time.